What's up? So, I wanted to talk about just general worrying, right? So, if you've seen any of these videos before, you'll know that I generally do worry about most things when it comes to me kids. I mean, like today, the 5-year-old's on a school trip, so obviously I'm just gonna lose my mind until I'll meet him back at school tonight, because anything can happen. So I will just be literally sitting around like this all day, going out of my mind. But I was looking the other day, and I literally have had to write this down because I don't know if you can see that because of the sun, but it goes on and on and on. So I found a list of things that a therapist has actually spoke to children about. Well, I'm saying children who spoke. Children. They're somebody's children. So it goes from age 2 to 4 all the way up to age 18 to 20, and this is things that their age groups worry about, which I found quite interesting. I thought I'd pass this along just so if your kids are in this sort of age group, you'd have some idea what they worry about. And most of them are quite samey, but it's still something that a little person worries about. So, from ages 2 to 4, like I say, I am gonna read this off the idiot sheets because I ain't gonna be able to remember it all. The fears they have, 2 to 4, is potty, so toilet training, the dark. I'm still scared of the dark now. Shadows. Who's not scared of shadows? They're scary. It's freaky. It follows us around everywhere. Sleeping alone. I haven't had much of a problem with my kids with this, but I don't know if that's because I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. They're in the same room, so they're not as bad. Where I know my 5-year-old is still a bit iffy with the dark. The weather. The weather can be scary. If it's really bad, like wind and rain and thunder and lightning, it's scary. Adults get scared of that stuff. Loud noises. My 5-year-old isn't a fan of loud noises. It actually physically hurts his ears. Which does mine. Who likes loud noises? So, ages 5 to 7, again, dark, fire. Fire is a good thing to be scared. Well, it's not a good thing to be scared of, but it's a sensible thing to be scared of. Bad guys. Now, when it says bad guys, I don't know if this means like, Thanos, he's a bad guy, or it just means like, that creep that walks down the street in the middle of the night, but drunk, shouting and swearing. So just bad guys in general. Taking tests. And that could be anything from, I'm going to take you to the doctor because you're not feeling very well. He's going to do a little bit of a test on you. He's going to stick and it's horrible and it's scary. It could be just when you go to school and, we're going to do a spelling test today. And you get nervous and you get scared and, oh no, I don't know how to spell, I don't know how to read, I'm only 5, 6, 7. I'm like that. I panic when it comes to tests. Peer rejection. Now, I think this depends on the person. Because you could have this all through your life. Nobody wants to be, like, rejected, you know what I mean? So, yeah. Doctors. And needles. Yeah. For the longest time, well, for at least 5 years, me and 5-year-old hated doctors. He would cry and sob his heart out at the thought of just going to the doctors. But he hasn't been too bad lately, so fingers crossed he's over it. Bugs and animals. My kids were scared of dogs. I don't know where this came from, just one day they decided I'm not a fan of dogs. I have cats, so I have cats and fish, and they're not scared of cats and fish, so maybe I should buy a dog. Bugs. My kids are quite like, let's go find the mini beasts, that's what they call them. I think that's what they call them at school, so that's what they've become known in my house, mini beasts. Yeah, so they're not too bad with bugs, but hey, I don't like spiders. They're creepy. I I mean, if I'm in the house, I've got to do the manly thing. If there's one hiding somewhere and my wife wants rid of it, I have to go and get it. But that's because I'm just sort of, I am the man, I have to go do it. So, suck it up and get on with it. But in general, I don't want spiders. Ages 8 to 11. I like this because it's bad guys and ghosts. So, again, I don't know what the class as bad guys. It was not made specific to, is this a bad guy as in, like I say, I don't want the bad guy from my favourite comic book coming to life and I don't want the Joker suddenly turning up at my door and attacking us, or is this like a burglar or a weirdo at school hanging about? And ghosts. Be scared of ghosts. I've seen Paranormal Activity. It's scary. Do you know what it is though? My kids watch a lot of Scooby-Doo, and I think they're at the point now where it's like every bad guy, once you whip the mask off, it's just someone being a dick. So, ghost-wise, I don't think my kids are actually that scared of ghosts, really. But I like the concept of being scared of something that's unknown, which I think that's why people are mostly scared of the paranormal and things like that. Being home alone. Now, I don't think people like being home alone until you're in your teens, or until you're like heavily into your Xbox and things like that, and you can be left alone and just be quiet and to yourself and playing on your Xbox. I was going to say playing with yourself, but I'll keep that to myself. Dying. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to see people they love and they know die. So I can understand that. Yeah, sickness. I know when you're younger, and it's like, if you're especially like if my kids are vomiting, they feel like it's the end of the world. They feel like they are physically going to die, but I've got to like reassure them you're fine. It's just, your body's just getting out the badness it needs to get rid of something. So it's sickening out. School failures. Now you see, my problem was I don't have this thing in me of I'm not scared of failure. Hence I'm an idiot because I did crap at school. Maybe if I had that fear of failing at school, I might have done better at school, but I didn't. So hey, I think it's a healthy, well, maybe it's not a healthy fear to have, but in small doses it can be a scary encouragement, which I think could help you along at school. Throwing up at school came up on the list. Now, I don't know if I've done this before. I mean, as an adult, I'm sick quite a lot. I physically think I'm dying, to be honest with you. But throwing up at school, I don't think I've done. I've obviously seen people do. But you do get you've all had that dream where you're at school and you've got no clothes on. And you wake up and you're like, oh, Jesus, it's alright, I'm in bed, I'm fine. So you don't want to look like an idiot at school, do you? I think is the point. And again, peer rejection came up on there as well. So between 5 and 11 at least, you don't want to be rejected, do you? 12 to 18, fears for their safety. I'm fairly convinced that my children shouldn't have this fear. Not for their safety anyway. I hope they feel quite safe most of the time. Sickness came up again, because, hey, who likes being sick? Nobody likes being sick. At all. Sickness is not a good thing. I'm just trying to tidy something up while I'm talking, and it's really putting us off because it's really annoying us. Throwing up at school came up again, so I think again it's just generally I don't want to look like a dick at school. Because people are going to take the mick out of you, let's be honest. You throw up all over yourself at school, next day you come in, you're going to have all the names, you're going to have all the jokes. I do apologise about this light, it's really bugging us. Damn you, son. What are we up to? Failure in school or sports. Now, I did martial arts when I was younger, and again, I'm not the type of person who worries about failing at something. I'm quite happily just, right, I failed, I'll just, do it again, or I'll try harder, or, I'm just that. pretty much don't care, is the point I'm getting at. So learn by me, yeah. Just don't care, don't worry about it, just get on with it. School presentations. School presentations. I cannot remember really doing many school presentations. I remember being in the play, you know, like when you do like the play about the war in the assembly and things like that. And in fact, I can remember me lines. I had to say, "Don't worry, the bombs can't get them in the country," which, let's be honest, was true. I mean, it's not. If they bombed the country, they probably could have got them. But yeah, that was me line. That's all I had to say. And once it was out, it was out. I didn't care if it was good or bad, to be honest with you. Where we up to? How they look to others. So you're getting into this age range now where, like between 12 and when you're married, basically, is how you look to other people. Because let's be honest, you're starting to notice girls and things like that, and your body's going through a change, which is actually something I've wrote down to start research into how I can actually put this across to talk about. So yeah, so you don't want other people to look at you, like don't want people to look down on you. I think is the worry. I mean, when I went to school, you know, I was the fat, smelly kid at school, me. So hey, I've had it all. It doesn't bother me. Like I say, I've water for ducks back. Really doesn't offend us whatsoever. Violence and global issues. I suppose you get to a point in your life where you start noticing things around you, especially when it says like global issues. When because like my granddad watches the news all day, unless there's golf on or snooker on, he watches the news all day. So obviously, when I was at me nana's house, it was like I started noticing like, wow, there is actually quite a lot of wars going on and things like that when I was younger and things, you know, and then you went into like Iraq and Afghanistan, stuff like that, and it got progressively worse, and then Russia started acting up and things, you know, and everywhere around the world fighting and trying to blow someone up. And there is a point in life where you start noticing things like this and thinking, is this something I should be worried about? You know, is this happening here? Are we, you know, am I in any trouble? But violence, I think violence is one of these things you have to deal with on a daily basis at the minute. I mean, my wife was telling us a story just the other day about how she'd went to pick the bairns up from school, and there's a man and a woman just shouting and screaming at each other, you know, and didn't really know what it was about. It was obviously a previous argument or incident, and it was just happening at the school for everybody to see, because obviously this is what you want to see when you're picking your 3 and your 5-year-old up, isn't it? Two morons screaming and shouting and effing and blinding and teaching my kids how to swear. So yeah, thanks for that. Ages 18 to 20, we are literally on the last hurdle. Germs and health. I suppose from when you're 18 to 20, you know, when you start like going out and drinking and meeting women and doing certain things with the women you meet, and yeah, germs and health can become quite an issue quite quickly, I suppose. But just, if you have health issues, obviously you need, you know, see the doctor, see whoever, and try and sort it. Do the best of your ability to do something about it. Obviously, at this point, you're 18 and 20, you're an adult, it's your problem. But this is obviously an issue that people worry about. I mean, I know for a fact, like my nana, she worries about, I mean, my nana has she has 3 children, like me 2 uncles and me mum. So she worries about them 3. And then me mum has me and me brother, so she worries about them extra 2. And me uncle has his son, so that's an extra 1 she worries about. And then I have 3 children, so that's an extra 3 she worries about. And then my brother has 2 children, so I've run out of fingers already. So me nana's like a panicker. So when it comes to health and things like that, she is like constantly like on the phone, in, you know, how you been, how's the children, how's this, how's that. I mentioned to her that I suffered with migraines the other day, which I wish I never did because I've never heard the end of it. But she's a caring person, and you know, I love her for it. So being homeless, I think this depends on your personal life. Like, I know my mum and my wife's mum and dad, like, wouldn't see any of their kids on the street. It's just that simple, you know. It doesn't matter what the situation was. I know for a fact I could turn up at my mum's door now with my 3 kids and go, look, I've got nowhere to live, can I crash here? And she'd be like, well, how are you? To be honest, I think most of my family would. It's the same as most of my wife's family would. So it's not really a problem I have or face, which I don't think many people, well, I think in the grand scheme of things, I think half the world would and half the world wouldn't. There is obviously a lot of homeless people around, so they don't have these type of things in their life where they can get help and things like that. So, but I think worrying about it, as long as you've got someone you can talk to, friends, family, anything like that, it shouldn't really be an issue. I mean, I know if some of my friends, I say some, I mean 1 or 2, phoned us up and said, look mate, I've got nowhere to go, and I'd quite happily say, yeah, come here. You know? Death. People worry about death. I didn't really worry about death until I had kids, and then it was like, what am I leaving for them? Do you know what I mean? That was like the only time I really thought about it. But if it is something you worry about, to me it's a pointless thing to worry about, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So I think the quicker you are to just deal with it, or maybe it's not deal with it, but come to the conclusion that yes, at some point we're going to die, then you'll be fine with it. Really, I mean, if you want to go down the religious route, you know, find a religion that you feel happy with. I mean, personally, I tell people I'm a Jedi, and that's how I try to live my life by the Jedi code, to be honest with you. You don't get any wars from my people, is what I like to tell people. My religion hasn't started any wars. And when I die, my energy will just go back to the Force and the universe. So, hey, that's how I live. Academic performance. Again, I never had this problem because I'm an idiot. My oldest son is doing his GCSEs at the minute, and for all I will give him his dues, because I think for the past 2 years, I think he has done more or less nothing but revise constantly. And even though he's doing his GCSEs now, I'm not expecting massive grades from him, I'll be honest, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't mean like he's an idiot or anything like that. I just think he's like me, and he remembers things that he feels that's important to him. Which at the minute is Xboxing and girls. So that's all that's important to him at the minute. So that's what he remembers. Yeah, so like I say, I'm not expecting him to do great. I'll be over the moon if he does great. I really will. I'll be well impressed with him. But if he comes out and he's failed all his GCSEs, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's really not. You know what I mean? What my highest grade was like a C. I think I got 3 C's in my GCSEs, and that was the best of my ability, you know. But like I say, I hope he does good for himself. Yeah, but don't panic too much about academic stuff, because for the simple fact that I learned more things outside of school than I ever did inside of school, because I found that I had to learn them for work, or I wanted to learn them because of something I was making or doing or interested in. When I left school and things, I was, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. To be honest, I still don't. That's the way I'm at the minute. But because of things I'm interested in, like sci-fi things, I've done a lot of like paranormal investigation stuff and things like that, which I had to read into a load of science stuff to find out how to prove things could and couldn't be done. So I got quite well knowledgeable in science and things like that. But I was never a great student of science at school. So you learn things outside of school. You remember more things when you're interested in it. So unless you're interested in maths, science, English, French, whatever else, then you're just not going to, unless you're one of these people that just retains information, which in that case, hey, good on you. Romantic interests or rejection. Now again, my oldest son is at that age now where every woman that walks past him is a potential, I'm going to say victim, not girlfriend, because he's in the mood at the minute where it's like, I just want to kiss things and be a boyfriend and, you know, just get into the whole girlfriend experience, which didn't we all do? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, again, nobody wants to have a girl turn around to you and say, "No man, get away from us, you're weird, you stink, you look funny, your breath smells, you pick your nose." I'm lucky I'm married, to be honest with you, because nobody would have us now. Yeah, so, romantic rejection. Nobody wants it. Life purpose. This isn't something I've thought about it, but it's not something I'm literally going to worry about, because the simple fact of it is, why are any of us here on this planet, on this earth, in this universe? Unless you have some sort of drive to go out and cure cancer, cure death. I don't know, unless you have the ability and need to go out and, I don't know, this incessive need to just do something. I suppose like I have this incessive need to just come on here and rant. This has become my life purpose, I suppose. Which is weird, because I've never really had a life purpose. And the last one was being an adult, because I think being an adult can be scary, especially if by the age 18, 20 you're still living with your parents and things like that. The idea of moving out and being on your own, in your own owning your own house, buying your own furniture and things like that, paying for your own bills and things like that, and it's a big sort of thing to take onto your shoulders when you haven't had to do it for, if you haven't had to do it for so long. So yeah, it can be a scary thing, but there is people there that'll help you. You can get help from the government, you can get help from your parents, you can get help from your neighbours, to be honest with you, do you know what I mean? If you just ask people for advice and help and things like that, and people who will genuinely just give you advice and help. So yeah, so that was things that the therapist, an actual goddamn therapist, had sat down with children from the ages 2 to the ages 20 and literally just said, what scares you? What you're scared of? Tell us. And I thought that was quite interesting. I thought I would share that with you, just in case your kids are anywhere within that age. Just remember that even though they are small, that they do have fears, they do have their own thoughts and their own mind, and they will sit and get wound up about things, and you might think, why are you going to bed and being worried about ghosts? You're an idiot. Do you know what I mean? There's no such thing as ghosts, and in my experience, they actually might be, because they're scary. So yeah, don't just brush aside any fears that your children have. Doesn't matter if they're 2 or 20, just sit down, listen to them, talk about it, and try and help them out to the best of your ability, is what I'm saying. Be nice to your kids, as always. Peace out.